I am live. So for those of you who will be tuning in later, and I prefer, oops, I don't know what happened. So no one is watching just yet. But for my viewers, my lookers, bookers, family, friends who will be tuning in later, I don't want you to just come and tune in and nothing is happening. So it is Winning Wednesday. And if you see this live, tag a friend, share with a friend, whatever. It is Winning Wednesday. And I have a quick message. So I'm also going to wait for some viewers to come on just for a second. And while I continue to get myself together. So as you come on, if you will be viewing now or later, drop what your win was for the week, or just drop how you're feeling. It is Winning Wednesday. And I have a quick message. Whoopsie daisy. As you also can see, whenever you decide to tune in, I have titled this You Are Still Winning. And I do not own copyrights to any music that I will be playing on this live on today on Winning Wednesday. It is January the 5th, 2022. Yes, we are in a new year. Um, expecting great things always. Staying prayed up. And I also tagged a few people. Again, I don't see anyone on, but I like to use my time wisely. And a part of my goal this year is respecting my time. I hope you all have written down some goals. I hope that you all are expecting great things this year. It is a new year. And, literally, I meant to be back in the house earlier, but I went out on a walk today and I have on my shirt from like years ago when I decided to join the gym, right? However, God aligns things perfectly. And I'll explain how that ties into the shirt later because I wanted to change. Although didn't do much sweating, I just went to walk on the trail, get some fresh air, just breathe a little bit for today. So again, as I do have viewers on, I want to interact with you guys today. I want to play something in the middle of this conversation or at the end of this conversation. But today is Winning Wednesday. And forgive me if you see the glare because my eyes are hurting today, so I needed some glasses. It is Winning Wednesday. And my message today is you are still winning. Regardless on whether we have someone to talk to, whether we vent to ourselves, hopefully, whether we vent to someone, I don't even see it as if we're transparent with ourselves or not. I know that some people can be in a mental space where you literally, create this whole facade of your life or what your life is looking like at the moment. But I'm just here to tell you, it's a new year. And I know we all set goals. I know that, every time a new year comes in, we have this excitement and we're looking for new things. Of course, it's a new year. But you guys, if you're transparent with yourself or not, I'm here to tell you. I know for a lot of people, and just looking around at myself, I really decided to do this off of my own message. This year is my year of double, and I'm getting everything that I came for. My success, my growth, my personal peace is mine. But I know just from my own experiences and everyone else's, this year is not starting off the way you thought it would, right? New year does not always bring in new excitement right off the bat. But I don't care what it looks like. Just take this for example. What if in order to get to the end of the rainbow, the pot of gold. You had to jump through some hoops. You had to go through some things. You had to at least stand in the fire for a little while. Would that change your perception on or your direction on actually staying the course and making sure you get what you came for? I say that to say I know for a lot of people, this year started off with sickness. It started off with whatever personal things you had in that you didn't have in mind, but it's happening. That doesn't mean that you're not winning. That doesn't mean that this year is still not going to be your year of double. That does not mean that this year you will not grow into the best person that you have ever been in your entire life. Everything that you've set your heart on, everything that you have faith in and truly believe in is still yours. And sometimes things are going to start off a little rocky. I even say, even just being on an airplane, the sight once you get up is amazing. If you sit by the window, trust me, I haven't been a frequent flyer just yet, but taking my first flight was scary. It was completely out of my comfort zone. But even this year, this past year, getting on the plane by myself, I had a little reservations, but I was ready. I was ready to go to a place, fly to a place that I've never been before. Houston, Texas, never got to experience it, and I was looking forward to actually getting there, being amongst my team, the organization, um, just being inspired throughout my whole trip. And I'll tell you, the takeoff is never pretty. The takeoff is rocky. Sometimes you think to yourself, what am I doing? Sometimes you look like, oh, can we just land already? Or can you just let me back down for a second? You guys, the takeoff is always going to be a little off balance. This year may not have, it's the fifth day of this year, and I know a lot of people have experienced some things that was uncomfortable, that is just not what they expected or what they even wanted. Who really wants to have a rocky start? Who really wants to go through things that are uncomfortable? No one. But if you truly honestly want to get to what you're aiming for, if you truly really want to stay the course and you want to be successful in whatever it is, whether it's that relationship, whether it's that job, whether it's your new business that you just started, nothing is going to automatically, once you walk through the door, it's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be pretty. It's not going to look pretty. It may not even feel good. But if you have complete faith, if you truly believe, if you know, because we cannot hide anything from ourselves, if you know that you are being completely 100, say it that way, 100 with yourself, you are being transparent, you know that whatever else or what all you've been putting in your work for, the things that you're still working towards, it's coming. It's coming. Our timing is not God's timing. It's not the universe timing. However you want to say that, just because it doesn't look like it now doesn't mean that you're not winning at this very moment. You may not feel good physically. Does that mean you're still not living? No, you're still here. You may not even be, doing some of the things that you wrote down and you say, "Hey, I'm doing this and I'm so excited." It's the fifth day of the year. And I know a lot of people have experienced some things, but for me, what I choose to believe is that the rockier your start off is, the beautiful your landing will be. When you get up, when you start experiencing things, it will be an amazing ride. The journey is going to be none like you've ever thought it even could be. It's going to be bigger and grander than you could have ever imagined. So I'm just here to tell you, keep going. Keep holding on. I know, even up and down my timeline, there's been a lot of sicknesses, and I don't take those things lightly. I really don't, medical field person. But I will say my faith is on a different level. I trust like I have never trusted before. And I refuse, or I decide that I won't make that a part of my everyday thing. I'll pray for healing for everyone doing my prayers, but will I sit in that throughout the day? No, I haven't felt good this year, but I'm here, I'm healthy, um, and I'm still moving on because I trust in God. I trust in His plans for me. I trust and know that I am a good person. Sometimes, Maybe even if I'm not saying that this is 100%, I'm just saying what works for me. And I know that even though things aren't looking, hadn't take off, the rocket hadn't just, taken off, but I know that greatness is here. I know that I am still winning. I know that regardless on when I wake up in the morning, this little right knee be kicking my booty. I know, even just morning, yeah, my knee was hurt when I got up, but I got up and still walked a trail. I still took, I still was able to move. I was still winning. You are still winning. I don't care what your situation looks like. I don't even care what someone tells you it is. What do you believe? What do you have faith in? Go through the storm. How do they call it? The turbulence when you first take off. It's going to be a little rocky, but the sight when you get in the air is amazing. Only God could have created something like that. When you get to the end of your road, the blessings, the success, the whatever you've written down, whatever you went for is going to be there if you believe, if you have faith. But if you give up now, you'll never know. You'll never know what it was going to be. You'll never know what it could have been. You are still winning. And regardless on whether you feel like it or not, I know that I'm still winning. It's what I believe in. It's what I have faith in. Every day that I have breath in my body, I can make it whatever I choose to be. With God's, blessings first, of course. But life is still here. You still have life. Again, I even put up my post this morning, and when I do these things, I literally don't say, okay, I'm posting this today because I'm going to do a live about this today. I just literally move as, I need to move, or I feel, pushed to move. And my post this morning talked about, when something bad happens, you have three decisions. It can define you, it can destroy you, or it'll make you stronger. What was your takeoff like? How will you land? Have you given up just yet? Thrown in the towel? Complaining every day of these 5 days of this first year, even though it started out with what? Some downs, some sicknesses, some no's, some disappointments, some things that you didn't put in your plans. That's the next thing. Me, I've learned to prepare for whatever comes. Meaning, sometimes in my head, I say, I know even when I get up in the air, it's going to be a little scary, not even scary. It's going to be a little rocky, shall I say. I prepare for that now. I write it down. I tell myself what I'm going to do to get through it, or, how I'll push myself through it and stay strong. I only hope that you guys are giving yourself the same credit. I hope that you are believing in yourself enough, believing in having faith in your creator. I don't care how crazy this world is or the painful things I've even experienced. Nobody could have planned my life out as amazing as this man has. And so I don't regret anything. A lot of the pain that I went through, some of it I didn't think I was going to come out of, but it's made me stronger. It's made me the person I am today, that I can know and I truly believe and have faith in that no matter how rocky the road may have been, the takeoff was, at the end of that rainbow, that pot of gold is gonna be, baby, listen. You guys, you are still winning. You are still winning. You have to take whatever it is that you're facing today and write it off as a win. Write that thing off so you can get credit for it at the end. When it comes to taxes and stuff, we have to write these things off. We get these receipts. Keep your receipt from this hard moment that you had to go through, that you had to face. Because at the end, when you get to cash off on that, when you get that return, honey, it is going to be like no other. It will be like no other. because you kept the faith, because you still gave gratitude. You didn't wake up and say, oh my God, I feel like this, or oh my gosh, I have to deal with this. But I said that this year was going to, it still is, unless you've given up already. If you threw in the towel, that is okay too, and some of us, we feel like, I was just telling my sister today, there's this thing, how they say the way it works, the way it has to work, again, with being transparent with ourselves. Sometimes, even as a new year, we have to expect what's owed to us, right? And when I say what's owed to us, that's not to say every single person. Maybe this year is the year that you deal with your demons, or this year is the year that you deal with the things that you've been given. Now you get to get that back. The year of receiving. And no matter what we tell ourselves, no matter what we tell the outside world, no matter what kind of smile we put on our face, you cannot lie to yourself. When you're in a quiet moment, quiet or not, a room full of people, you cannot hide from yourself. You cannot hide from your thoughts. You definitely can't hide from that man above. So some of us, if we're honest with ourselves, we feel like we're a good person or we're good. There's a difference between being a good person to someone and being a good person to everyone. We're good to a couple people. We feel like we're good. What about the people that you didn't know? Or the waitress that you had last week that you made fun of for some reason, because her uniform wasn't the right, just whatever. Everything that we've given out, I truly and wholeheartedly believe that it will come back to us. That's the next thing of having a beautiful ending. Will you accept everything that is fair? Because sometimes when we don't even like going through those hard times, sometimes they're due to us. But are you going to let that define you? Are you going to say, oh, okay, I have to deal with this, or okay, I was a bad person back then and now it's coming now and, I give up? Or you're going to allow it to happen, go through it, process it, and then move on. Because it can still be your pot of gold at the end of that rainbow, at the end of that storm that is now going to turn into a rainbow, and then you get a beautiful ending. But if you never push through the rocky times, if you never push through the uncomfortable moments, if you never fully accept what is due to you, you're going to give up. You're going to give in. And we'll never know what the end of that rainbow was. We'll never know what greatness was ahead of you. Or what greatness you could have been so that somebody else had hopes of being a great person themselves. Trust me, when I get on here, it's not easy. And sometimes, I be wanting to say, nobody is paying attention. Nobody is listening. It's not for everybody. It's for somebody. And it's what's on my heart. And so it's what I'm going to do, even outside of my comfort zone. I laid last night, I had a late call and still in yet, wanted to go to sleep. It was after 1 a.m. And I'm like, oh, it's time to go to bed because I'll be right back up at 6. I could not rest. And not that I couldn't rest, I was just in a quiet moment. And I could have, the beginning, the first day, actually, no, my New Year's was amazing, because it was peaceful. It was peaceful. It was me being in a positive space all by myself. And the first time I've been all by myself, and actually didn't feel lonely. This year was fulfilling. Bringing in the New Year's was fulfilling. All by myself. I was in the house by myself, had communion with the Bible study group online. But bringing it in was, was just me. I called my babies on the phone and got them on FaceTime afterwards. But it was just me and God. And I was okay with that. I felt so full the first time, physically alone, and I was not alone. But that's not to say that day 2 didn't bring something, that I didn't look at my situation or look at some things, some areas in my life and like, Whew, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. Is this really happening? It is. And I push through. I'm going to push through because I had to remind myself that I'm still winning. The takeoff is never smooth sailing, but the ending, making it to the end itself is already a beautiful thing because you pushed through everything that was in your way, everything that you faced. You know, Sometimes we don't know what's at the end, but the fact that you made it to the end, that's glory, man. That is success. That is positivity. That is prosperity. That is everything that you could have imagined because you made it through. You pushed through. You did not give up or you did not give in. You guys, no matter what it is, no matter how it came, no matter who brought it, welcome it. Welcome the hard times. And when you can do that with ease, when you can do that with a pure heart, man, you're already winning. You are still winning in the midst of. So, because I don't want to be on here long. And normally today is Winning Wednesday, and I would have literally just streamed live from my YouTube. I just felt like someone here needed to hear something. Which also goes back to the fact that you could just log on to my YouTube channel and, subscribe. My Lookers, Bookers, family, friends. But my YouTubers, I appreciate you all of my newcomers, my new subscribers. You all are definitely appreciated. So this message, I just felt like it needed to be heard. I know a lot of times people look, and once I end this live, it'll be about 50 different views. The message is still getting across. I didn't come here for my own, well-being, because I could have just gave myself the message and pushed right through, right? But also last night, just laying there and listening to God and to my thoughts, welcoming my thoughts. There was a song that I just could not get, past. And I'm trying to find the exact moment of what it says. Hold on. So, anyone, listen. And if you didn't catch that, she says that I know sometimes life will make you feel that it's much harder than it really is. But if you hold on, if you don't give in, you'll make it. So you guys, and somebody like me, my mind is, I have a different kind of mind. And, a lot of people say you listen to this or don't listen to that. I can listen to any song and literally place God in the midst of it. I can literally be talking to him. Believe in something. Believe in something. Believe in someone. You should definitely be believing in yourself. But for me, God is my man. He is it for me, and I believe in him, and I know, and I've seen the things that he's done for me. Eyes were literally open when he saved my life a couple of times. Some situations I couldn't even explain and look sane to some people, but completely normal for me. And I know it was just him. So if you grab on to a relationship like that, you can count on him every single time, through every single moment you're living. That is the biggest gratitude or the biggest thing that you could ever be grateful for. But know that life will. It's a guarantee. It will make you feel like things are harder than it really is. But if you trust, if you believe, if you have faith, different things, Three different things that, can be a beast if you don't grab hold to them the right way. But it will get you through even this moment that you're having. Welcome it with open arms. The peace in that, man. But in case you were wondering, in case you were starting to get to a place of panic, in case you were starting to doubt yourself, I'm here to tell you that you are still winning. If no one else told you that today or yesterday or the day before, if no one told you before the clock hit 12 that this year was going to be the best year of your life, I'm here to tell you that. But will you welcome it? Will you stick it out? I don't know. I'm hoping that you will. I'm rooting for you. I promise you I am. So, you guys, this has been Winning Wednesday, and I just wanted to remind you that beauty comes. Beauty comes even after the beast. Beauty and the Beast, was a beast in the beginning of the story, right? But look at the beautiful ending in that. Do not give in. Do not give in. So until next time, you guys, you know how I say, be blessed.